Okay, welcome everyone. It's 6:45 and I'd like to call this meeting to order. We will open with public forum. Is there anybody here that would like to speak during the public forum?
After we say everyone's present and roll call.
We're all here. Okay, Barton, would you like to start?
Okay. Barton Winter, 15 Oaks Lane. And I would just like to thank the mayor for allowing me to flood this year. And I think we've had pretty good weather with a few breaks of warmer temperatures, but by and large, a pretty good season. So I think I just have a few complaints, which have sort of been brooding the entire season, and I just want to say that we've managed to clear the ice, but we've had some issues about the snow blowing, and we haven't done a lot of snow blowing. The last time was January 1st. Other than that, since then we've been clearing by hand. We haven't had the major snowfalls, but I want to point out that at the beginning of my time as the designated rink flooder, the mayor and I reached an agreement, which included that I was not supposed to speak to Jim Rydeen, the city employee. And I believe that has been the crux of the problem that we've had in the sense of I did file a complaint with the city on December 30th regarding what had happened in the 3 major snowfalls that we'd had since the end of November through Christmas. We had 3 6-inch snowfalls, and I had documented that in each one of those something happened that delayed either the hockey rink or the figure skating rink, pleasure rink. So, I'm not happy, one, that Jim was not coordinating with me, and so that we didn't get things done in a timely manner, and that forces me either to shovel myself or wait. And time is precious in the season, and we don't want to leave things when they could be done relatively easily. So another complaint is the snowblower situation. We have 2 snowblowers in the shed down there, and one of them apparently is Jim Rydeen's personal snowblower, which is a smaller snowblower. And then we have one that is a Simplicity Manufacturing. It's 38-inch wide, and it's the one that we use to basically blow the hockey rink off. The other one is used for edging work. But there's been issues about the snowblower that it's not properly tuned. And recently, I guess Jim has had the belts replaced on the snowblower. But I was told that was going to take place much earlier. And so we've had a problem with throwing the auger belt on the large snowblower. So it's a problem and has delayed us. It's caused on a number of occasions. So
Is there anything else, Barton?
yes.
3 minutes is up.
Okay, and I just have a couple other items. One is that apparently the city has changed the rule about when we plow the streets, and that it's now 2 inches of new snow versus 1. And I did file a complaint that, I've seen even on the recent snowfall that we had a week ago from Sunday, that we had slushy streets, right? And they were left slushy. And so I'm complaining about that. I know we're trying to save money, but, okay, and the one other thing, that is that looking at the website, one, I believe it's hard to get to the information that we need as far as looking at agendas for the Parks Committee, for the City Council. You have to click on information. You have to get to another layer before you can find that. And so I don't like that. And also in terms of the Parks information specifically, and probably the city, that the agendas and minutes are not being maintained. They're not current. So someone can't go on there and find out what happened in the most recent, or the one that we typically would have prepared, which is a month ago or something.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, Barton. Steve?
Good evening. Steve Shad, 130 Cedar. So I saw that the topic of culling the deer herd was on in December. I also see that it's on this evening. I think you all have received communication from me on my point of view on this topic, but I'm going to reiterate it tonight as you go into more deliberations about the topic. But I will state again, there is not one scientific study that has shown that a community like Birchwood is able to solve a deer overpopulation problem with culling. The DNR keeps coming into the town and telling us that the only solution to this problem is to shoot the deer. And I will remind you that the DNR works on a scale of the state of Minnesota. They don't work on a scale of a community of this size. They have a hammer and they look for nails. And the nail is deer herd management through hunting. So that is the only tool that they have in their toolkit, and they're very good at it, and they're very good at it at a state level and a regional level. There's a reason why the state of Minnesota is divided into several regions for deer management. It's because they have to manage the herd at that scale because herds are mobile. They move, they can move hundreds of miles to seek food and shelter. And for us to be thinking that we can control the number of deer in our community by taking out 9 or 10 deer every year is really not the solution to this problem. The solution to this problem is human behavior change. We need to stop feeding the deer. And we're feeding the deer with the plants that we plant in our gardens. And for us to continue to invest in this activity is just a waste of time. And to the extent that any money is spent on it, it's a waste of money. Deer are not deterred by hunting happening in a geographic area. There's a rebound effect. They have more births when there's a vacuum in the population. So even if you did make a dent in the population, it's just going to bounce back and the problem's going to get worse. The solution to this problem is to stop feeding them and to stop planting plants that they like. So those are my thoughts on the matter. You've heard it before. And if we keep going down this path, we're just going to continue to waste time. It makes people feel better that we're killing deer, but we're also turning our little bedroom community into a hunting ground. I don't want that for my family. I don't want it for my kids. And it's not the kind of place that I want to live. And doing this at night under the cover of dark and having sharpshooters come into town and kill deer, that's not going to solve the problem either. So it's time to stop it and let's move on and find other ways to either live with or deal with the population in ways that actually do work, which is removing the food source that they like to eat. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ron?
It's kind of interesting, Ron Malice, 420 Wildwood, and I do a lot of things in my yard to prohibit deer from doing damage to our plants, our trees, and we do a variety of things. So let's go back 5 years. The council came overwhelmingly after we had meetings with the DNR, and the group was, I'd say 95%, said, we need to do this. When I moved in here 40 years ago, if you saw a deer periodically, that'd be wonderful. Now we'll see them nightly. So that isn't the case any longer. So they've become more prevalent. So I encourage you to continue to think about culling. Normally there's, from an aspect of numbers, there's 30 to 40 deer in our area, maybe more. And if you take out, let's say we take 8 to 10, there's probably of the 30, there's 15 that are does, right? So they're gonna have 1 or 2 fawns. So the case of, yeah, you can plant some things that aren't going to be, we're doing that. We have at least 2 people that have fenced their entire yards to try and prevent it. I don't think that we want to become a fenced community because we have deer. I love the deer, but I think we need to manage the deer. And I'm a proponent of that. There's things that we do. I mean, we fence around the yards. We put fence around trees. We have covers around the trees. I put netting over the shrubs. We put propellant in regards to sprays and stuff to stop them from eating. where do we have to go beyond that? And you can't say, I'm already planning the things that they're not supposed to like. But if they're really hungry, guess what? They're going to eat. And I don't blame them. But we can do something in regards to trying to maintain the numbers within our community. So I need your support in regards to that. In 25, we had one hunt. We got one doe. That's not going to do it. 24, we had 10 deer, 8 does, 2 bucks. That has an impact. Year before, we had 8 does. So that's and that's the DNR, and that was the wish of our community in the past. We can retrench that again, but I think if we do approach it from the standpoint of council, we need to do a 5-year plan, just like they did last time, because we really don't need to go through this all over again. So I appreciate your support, and I understand Steve's opinion, but it depends on how you maintain your lawn and how you do with your trees and what you plant and whether or not you make that investment. We've made a huge investment in my yard, and I'm planting the things that the deer are not supposed to like.
Okay,
And I don't want to put up a black fence like we have down here on Cedar or on Hall. I don't think that's what we want in our entire community. So thanks for your time.
thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Mary Sue, did you want to speak?
No, I'm just waiting for the sheriff.
Oh. Perfect.
They were looking for you.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations is
All
up, Mary
right.
Sue.
Madam Mayor, I did add approval of agenda too, so we should do that next. and
Right.
Add your pieces.
Correct. Okay, so does anybody have anything they would like to add or remove from the agenda?
I think, how are we going to add these treasury report
We're
items?
going to work on it. I got the
Sure,
list.
deal. All
We'll
right,
bring
then,
those
your
up
deal.
in the consent. We'll pull it.
On your table in front of you, Council, are the additions. So the first one I'd like to add is a presentation from our Washington County Sheriff Department here. The next one I'd like to add is the approval of members for the Community Engagement Committee. The third one is a motion from council to approve the kitchen renovation budget. And the, Therese would like us to add these additional claims that didn't make it into the packet. Was there anything else, Alan? Did I miss anything?
Just in anticipation of a vote to approve the agenda, I've got the resident members of Community Engagement and Events Committee, as well as discussion and approval of budget to replace floor coverings in Village Hall Kitchen. We'll add the other claims that Therese pushed out in consent, if we want to pull and add those in, just to make a record
Okay.
for treasurer's report.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda with the additions?
So moved. Like, give it to Bridget, I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, agenda item number 1. We have Senator Gustafson here to speak. Thank you for coming this evening.
All right, so make sure it's on. Last night I was at Lino Lakes and did the first 10 minutes without the mic on, so. And it won't even be 10 minutes, so I promise I won't take up your time. I know we have other things on your agenda. Thank you for letting me be here tonight. It's really, really nice that you extend me this time. I like to just visit each of my cities and sort of check in and give a little bit of an update about what we'll be working on. We go into session next week. It is a shorter session. It's only going to be about 3 months. It is not a budget year, so we won't be deciding big budget packages. There might be a supplemental budget on in certain committees, but we never really know that till the end when we see all of the forecast. So what we usually do in the second year of the biennium is we work on policy and bonding. So those are the things that we'll be looking at. This doesn't, it affects our district, but not necessarily, well, not Birchwood Village. But I was just discussing with Chris before the meeting started that one of our big bonding projects, we have 2 trails, one in Vadnais Heights that we're trying to get approved, and then and this one is my favorite. It starts north of 2 harbors, I believe. It's pretty northern Minnesota and goes all the way down to the Gulf. Except for a 1.5 miles that's missing, and that's in Circle Pines. So it's embarrassing. So that has been an effort that we've been working on the city for quite some time. So hopefully that'll go through. Always a good reminder if you have bonding projects for your city to let us know. And it's a hard. It's a hard process, but, the earlier that we can find out about things that people need or that you let me know, it gets a little bit easier too. And there are some tricks to it as well. So anytime in future years.
That's not reassuring.
Well, the tricks are not like anything shady. It's just about like a lot of times they're trying to get as much bang for their buck, right? So if it's like a project that is going to help as many people as possible, even in surrounding cities, that, you know what I mean? Or like the one that we really had to fight hard for in '23 was a water treatment in Lino Lakes because it's water, which is why like some of the trails got postponed. It's helpful if you have bipartisan support. These are like the little tips and tricks. So, but I can help you with that. So just keep it on your radar for upcoming years because it is something that I'd be happy to go through if there is something that you need. I don't think fencing counts, sorry, but we can, other things maybe. Public safety remains a top priority, so just for the session coming up, I've, working on a few things, but one of the things that I know was helpful to Birchwood Village last time was that public safety funding that was under local control of how to spend as long as it came within the public safety parameters. I believe you guys got $37,000, a little over, almost $38,000. You are also like my hometown of Vadnais Heights, a contract city. So I don't know if Washington County Sheriff's Department is probably like, yep, we'll take that check. But you guys get your own check too. It went to every single city, county, and tribal nation in Minnesota. My cities don't get a lot of LGA. You guys don't, right? We know. And so it is sort of public safety remains one of your top expenses. And also because you're not getting LGA, it's sort of one of my ways to try to help out your city budgets as much as I can. So fingers crossed, we'll see how we do with that. Also working on a property tax relief bill that is connected to it. So we'll see how successful we can be in that, but it is a priority for me. We'll be working on other things as well as far as there might be a supplemental budget with the education bills and just knowing that schools and business, I'm also in jobs and economic development. We know that a lot of schools and businesses are really stressed right now, even beyond where they were a year ago. But with the presence of ICE in our community, it's also, we're seeing a lot of unexpected budget expenses in schools and businesses. So we'll be addressing that as well. Other than that, like I said, it is short, so we will hopefully get in there, bonding bill, try to pass some good policy. I've got some consumer protection bills that I'll be working on, a gun violence prevention bill. So, well, fingers crossed. But if there's ever anything that you come across that you're hearing about, I always remind people, you're always welcome to reach out to me if there's a problem, but if there's also something you want to celebrate that's happening in Birchwood Village, like I would love to hear that too. And my phone is always available. My office is available. Can meet for coffee. Probably have to wait till after session. But would love to meet with any of you if you ever have questions about anything. So my door is always open. Let me know how I can help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. No questions?
No.
Okay,
Thank you for taking the time to come tonight.
of course.
Appreciate it. We are going to move our agenda around a little bit to accommodate our sheriff department. Would you guys like to come up and introduce yourselves? Or whoever's speaking?
For the record, that means we're moving item 6 up to,
Yes, so this would be item 6 on the agenda, is going to be moved up to number 2. Thank you, guys, for being here. I know, short notice.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for inviting us. I'm Sergeant Pearson with the Sheriff's Office. I'm one of your liaison sergeants for the contract for you guys. And this is Deputy Gibney. He's one of your deputies that is in the contract that serves here every time he works. And then that's Deputy Wilson back there. He's one of our new recruits that's being trained in by Deputy Gibney today. As far as the reason why we're asked here today, I don't have a lot of information to provide. We don't support the immigration operations when they happen. And ICE doesn't share really any information with us when they're going to have an operation or who the subjects they're looking for. So,
So the reason we are interested in having you come is just, there's a general concern from all residents of Minnesota, and I've had a few residents contact me and are concerned about ICE, and just in general, and their policies and procedures that they follow. And just trying to reassure them that as the Washington County Sheriff Department, you operate differently than that.
yes, we do. We operate under Minnesota state law.
Are you aware of any Homeland Security activity in Birchwood itself?
Not that I've been made aware of, no. Or any plans to do so. Like I said, they typically don't.
Not that they would tell you plans, I'm not aware of any activity, and I was curious if you were aware, you might be
I've
more
not been
aware,
personally
okay,
aware of
that's,
any.
thank you. Okay, can I make a comment on a slightly different subject?
Well,
Or do you want
does,
to keep going?
just,
I
yeah.
don't want to change the subject here.
Does
just to
anybody
have one
else have
already here.
questions or comments? Mary Sue, did you have a concern? Did you want to step up to the mic? You could share the mic. Mary Sue.
Into the mic, Mary Sue.
Mary Sue Simmons, 418 Birchwood Court. I'm a very nice person, and I'm a U.S. citizen. It's hard for me to imagine that you maybe don't know something about ICE activities, and so I'm going to ask you some questions and hope that maybe you can tell us more than you are, or maybe you just don't know, because that's how they operate. They don't share information, and that's pretty obvious to me, but
Mary
are you
Sue,
aware of any
pull the
area?
microphone over.
I got to talk to these guys.
I understand.
We want to have them come up,
Better?
or you come up as well and
Yeah.
just share the
You
mic.
can take
a
the
little
mic
bit,
out
or-
if you want to, just.
You guys can get on camera.
Okay, just watch my back.
I promise I won't come near you.
Are you aware of any retention facility purchases or intentions or plans around the Northeast Metro area?
No, not that's been made aware to us.
Do you in your cells or your prisons or wherever you take people, do you have any immigrants that are being detained in your facilities?
Not for ICE detainers alone. It would be only for a Minnesota state crime that they've committed.
Okay. What role, if any, do you play when ICE comes and says, we're taking this person away, or you stop somebody and that you suspect that do you play any legal role in turning in people, helping arrest people, or helping ICE in any way?
No, it's been the explicit directive of the sheriff that we do not enforce immigration laws, federal immigration laws.
Great. Have you yourselves encountered any ICE activity or been involved in watching protests or something where you've been on site and seen how these things unfold?
No, there was a protest in Lake Elmo, I think a couple weeks ago, and there were no ICE agents there. People were just making their concerns known, and it was peaceful and everything was fine.
This is a little hard to believe, so pardon me, but I just can't. Do they really have this much secrecy working for them in terms of their isolation that they think? I'm sorry, I'm asking you for an opinion, but it's my outrage I'm containing. If I see activity and I'm worried about my own personal safety or that of a person near me, and I dial this 911 number to call the sheriff, what happens?
We'll respond and
And
act accordingly.
would you come?
Yes. Yep, we respond to all 911 calls.
And what if this guy was an ICE agent or Border Patrol person roughing me up? Would you do anything or just witness?
Obviously, we would protect everybody. That's our stance, so
That's a
that's
fair.
our job. That's what we're sworn to do.
So are you saying that tonight you have no legal official role in operating with federal agents in our state?
We have none with ICE.
Okay, well, that, I think that's my real question.
We have no role with ICE.
Okay, thank you very much, and welcome to the force.
Council, does anybody else have a question?
Well, I have a comment. We have one resident here who you can tell is very concerned. It's clearly not the only one. We have a very Caucasian community, so the expectation that we are unlikely to be a major target is probably accurate. However, that doesn't change the activities of this group. My understanding is in the event that ICE were to come into our neighborhood and try and take anyone away, our citizens should be calling the sheriff's department and you would be coming.
We would come, but again, we can't interfere with them also.
Okay.
We can't,
is
we
there
can't, we
anything-
can't stop them for doing what they're doing.
Unless they're breaking the law?
Well, it depends, because there's federal law and there's state law.
Sure.
Yep.
If they are breaking state law?
If it's observable, we would do what we'd have to do, I guess. It's hard to get into hypotheticals. We
understand.
could go down that road for hours, I guess, but basically, if someone calls 911, we'll respond, and if ICE is doing what they're doing, there's not much we can do to interfere with what they're doing, otherwise now I'm committing a crime. I'm interfering with a federal investigation.
So much of the tactics look a lot like kidnapping. So if someone is concerned that someone is being taken against their will, I'm actually concerned also because they're not identified. There's no identity whatsoever on their outfits. They are masked. As a parent and as a kid from the time frame where there was a young man who disappeared in Minnesota, all the things they warn you about to watch for is how these people are dressed. So it's concerning to me that there is not something that is more active that we can do to prevent this activity in the manner that it's being done. It's going against the Constitution. There's no judicial warrants. In the event someone were to show up and not have a judicial warrant, which is a requirement of the Constitution to actually remove someone, also due process, there's all of that. In the event that individual were to show up and require assistance, you would be helping our citizen, correct?
That's a tough one to answer, because again, they don't share everything with us. So it's not like we would show up on scene and they would just provide all this information to us to show whether they had it or not.
You're
That
not
makes
allowed
sense?
to ask if there's a judicial warrant?
I can ask, but there's nothing that says they have to show me. They're a complete separate entity from anything that the sheriff's office is a part of. We are two separate, complete entities. So there's nothing that says they have to share any information with me whatsoever.
Is there something we can do as a city regarding the operation tactics?
Not that I'm aware of, if you're asking me.
Alan? Any thoughts? Is there anything that we as a city can do regarding operation tactics? As a parent, I am concerned that if someone disappears, I'm not going to call Amber Alert potentially soon enough.
Yeah.
Like,
Or ever.
Or ever. Because people may just disappear, and it could be ICE, or it could be someone completely horrible who's taking advantage of a situation that's horrible.
Yeah, and I think because not only are these guys, these folks, all of them serving the county, we're under special contract with them, so you do have special patrol. And I would always start with them. If someone's missing,
Certainly.
call 911, and because we don't have local police, the number's gonna be dialed into the sheriff's department, and they should take a report no matter what. If it's found that ICE took someone away under federal jurisdiction, that's probably where their inquiry's gonna end. If that's not the case, then they're gonna do what they would do with anyone who is missing, whether it's a vulnerable adult or a child or whatever.
So you're not aware of if, in the event if someone is taken by a federal agent, do they report that? That's my concern as well.
No, they wouldn't. They don't report to us like, hey, we took
Right.
But I mean,
Y and
you'd
Z
be
from
able
there.
to.
But if we had
that
a missing persons investigations, we would treat it as a missing person or abduction or kidnapping until we knew otherwise. We wouldn't just assume that ICE came and detained them. We would treat it as if until we knew for sure that that was the case.
Okay,
That makes better sense. Sorry.
sure. Okay. That's, I guess, the end of my questions.
Anybody else?
Well, thank you for the job that you do for us and for keeping us safe and for being here tonight. And it sounds like you guys are walking sort of a fine and hard line. Do you have any advice for us as residents of the community as we think about ICE, as we think about sort of the current state of things in Minnesota?
Well, if you're ever unsure of what's happening in your community and you don't like what's going on, we are your police department, so we're a phone call away, and we'll come out and we'll do what we can, if we can, do stuff, assist you guys, but, that's what we're here for. So if you're unsure of what's happening, or you don't like something that's going on, and you're not sure if it's legal or illegal, call us, that's what we're here for. And we'll always respond for you.
Thank you all for your service.
Thank you.
And thank you for
Thank you.
coming
It's
in
been a pleasure,
tonight.
thank you.
We appreciate it.
It is worth noting, just to note for everybody, that don't ignore emergency situations because you're worried that an emergency call is going to trigger ICE showing up.
Right.
That's the biggest thing is,
Yeah.
don't pretend that this is the new normal, right? The new normal should be the old normal, which is if you see something, say something, call, whatever. I had to give this advice to my other city that's 40% Latino, and so that's a tougher pill to swallow when you have legitimate concerns when you call and bring attention to yourself, so.
Right. Yep, I guess at this point, we have to rely on our local law enforcement to follow the Constitution. So, in going along with our guests here, I would like to, one of the handouts in front of you on your table is, let's see, help me out, Alan. Oh, number 6 on your agenda, discussion of city statement concerning recent federal surge of enforcement in Minnesota. I wrote up a rough draft of a statement that I would like to put out in our names. I have been contacted by several residents who have asked me to do that. Matamidi has put out a statement, White Bear Lake has put out a statement, Stillwater.
Can I just,
So, just in keeping in line, and so we can stand in solidarity, even though ICE, the chances of us being, our community being affected is slim, we can still stand in solidarity with our neighbors. So if you could take a peek at what I wrote and see what you think.
I mean, one is, I've actually been a little worried because there's construction sites in town.
Right.
And I haven't heard anything there, but, that seems like, I'm not sure our risk is quite as close to zero as we think. I like your statement. What are we gonna do with it? Just send it out?
Publicize it. I was going to put it on the website, Facebook,
That's fine.
have Therese email it out.
I wonder if it would be just, yeah, that's probably the best we can do. I don't think it's a bad point to raise, Kathy, that it would be nice to have a Birchwood militia that would stand up to something, but we just,
I mean,
see me run away.
we could constitutionally, something, it has something to do with the tyranny of the
don't know.
government, I believe.
Let's start with a statement.
let's start with a statement.
This could take a turn. Okay, anyway, anybody else have any comments on the statement?
No, I think it's good.
Shall I read it for anybody who's watching?
You want it on the screen?
Yes. I think, Chris, you have it, right? Can you put it up?
Yeah, we just have to get this right.
Chris has it.
I have the statement.
So does Chris.
I wish there were more that we could do.
I think everybody wishes that. While they're putting that up, can somebody else read that? Because I gave my statement away. Could someone read it out
Read it.
loud?
See how I do with reading out
All
loud.
right, Kathy's going to read it.
All right. As Operation Metro Surge continues in our state, many residents and businesses in our surrounding communities of White Bear Lake and Matamidi have been affected. This operation has created fear and anxiety within these communities, resulting in students not attending schools and parents not commuting to work. While Birchwood is yet to be directly affected, we as a council would like to reassure our residents that we are committed to keeping our community safe and the ideals stated in our Constitution. As a local government, we have no control over federal agents. However, Birchwood Village contracts with the Washington County Sheriff's Department. We as a council have full confidence that the department will honor our civil rights laid out in the Constitution. If you have concerns about your safety or security, please contact them. We have all seen the chaos and fear this operation has created, but we have also seen neighbors helping neighbors. It is kindness and compassion for our neighbor that strengthens community. Take care of each other. Listen and be respectful to those with whom you may disagree. If you or someone you know needs assistance, reach out to local churches and community market in White Bear Lake or nonprofit organizations. Signed, Birchwood Village City Council.
I think it's a great statement. There's one line I would take out, however, and I would just take out, while Birchwood has yet to be directly affected. Birchwood has been affected.
Yes.
There are people that no longer will come into Birchwood to work here, so I just would
Okay.
take that out.
Good point. Any other comments? All right, and you're all okay with me having Therese publicize it and Chris put it on the website and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Should we get a motion to do that?
I've got it teed up as a motion to just approve the publication, and push out as an official communication if you want to take that motion.
Okay.
So moved, Kathy?
Second?
Did you second, or you need a second?
I need a second for the
I'll
motion.
Second, with the line as stated taken out.
Correct. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, on to a lighter topic. Number two on the original number 2 on our agenda is discussion of Washington County Historical Society QR code, the Lake History Project. This week, I met with Cora Hankins and Sarah Hansen. Cora was representing Lake Links, and Sarah works with the White Bear Historical Society. They wanted to present a project that they've started to work on. And in your packet, you have a map and a potential sign that will go up around the lake. So the map indicates 20 areas around the lake of historical significance. And the project will put QR codes on signs at each of these locations. And as people travel around the Lake Links Trail, they can scan the QR code, and it'll tell them something of historical importance that happened at that spot. And the point of the meeting was not only to just give us some information on it, but also to just have you start thinking about it and just get general feedback of what you might think of the project. So I thought it was awesome. I think it's really a cool concept. And for us in Birchwood, the signs, we're fortunate to have the easements, so they don't have to necessarily go on anybody's right-of-way there. Does anybody have any comments or questions, or?
I think putting them at the easements
think
is
it's
a nice idea.
I can't hear you.
The easements are a nice idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I can comment on specific locations, or I can just say, whoever's managing this, it's my mother, I guess I better think she's doing a good job.
This
Yeah,
was,
you've got a direct line.
Is your birth going to be noted?
Sarah and Cora assured me that they were just in the planning stages, and they're just approaching each of the 5 municipalities and the 2 counties that are connected to the Lake Links Trail, just to get feedback and, I don't know, just kind of warm us up to the idea.
So I assume these are markers that will be directly spots on the trail itself or
Correct.
nearby? Okay.
Yes, and they were saying, this is just preliminary. This is just like their beginning stages, so not all of these might end up where they are, there may be fewer, or, I think they told me 10. They're starting with 10, with 10 signs, but they eventually would like 20.
How many
On
of
the
you?
entire lake,
The
right?
entire lake.
Oh, that's a lot for Birchwood.
Birchwood, it looks like right now,
You can see.
according to this map, it's like 3.
I see two,
What's that little
What are the
mushroom?
green things?
is it oh, and
Natural
natural interest. Oh,
So there'll be historical sites, or, like it says, natural interests.
That's probably the marsh.
Could be. Anyway, for those of you who walk or bike the Lakelings Trail, I thought this would be a great addition.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, so when I speak to Sarah Hansen, I can tell her that the council is behind it? Yes?
Is that just an administrative matter, Ellen, or do we need to actually, I'm sorry, I'm not being probably loud enough. Is that just an administrative matter to put up the signs?
Well, I'd say until
Or
we
should
get
we-
something a little bit more approvable.
Okay.
So before you have to worry about anything in your jurisdiction, I think this is just concept
Informational. Yep.
ideation. If you guys are all thumbs up, I think it's a great idea too. So obviously, before anything went up, we would want it approved with a mock-up for what would go here.
Right. Yep, like I said, this was just the initial contact. And Sarah said if we have questions, she'd be happy to come in. I said that wasn't necessary at this point, that I thought you guys would probably really enjoy that idea, so. Okay, cool, thank you. Let's go on then to number 3. Number 3 is discussion of the future of targeted deer hunts in Birchwood. Kathy?
Yes. Alan, did you send all of those documents that Paul Burr had forwarded?
Yes.
Everyone, okay. So I believe, I forget the quantity, it was several though. Yes, I think it was almost 17-ish articles that he provided, so I'm not sure if all of you have had a chance to read it. I got it a little less than a week ago, so it's a lot to read through.
Wrong slide.
But I wanted to ask if, after reading those, if you would like to look at potentially getting that, in which case I can reach out to the Metro Bow Hunters and see if they are still interested, and then put that on the agenda for looking at the previous agreement that we had and working towards that. If there is no interest in doing that, I'm not going to waste anyone's time, basically. So that is what I wanted to ask regarding that, because the DNR did come last month. And then I would imagine that in the event we want to move that forward, we would want to put that paperwork in front of the council again to review the potential terms of that agreement, and then allow a public forum for anyone else who wants to either come to support or go against.
So you're looking,
Right now, I'm looking to know council interest regarding, like, if you guys are absolutely opposed to doing it, I don't want to waste my time. Administrative-wise, I've done this deer hunt for the last 3 years exclusively. Our administrative group is not doing that, with the help of a group of volunteers who do all of the going around and gathering all the signatures and all that paperwork. So as far as that aspect goes, those volunteers tend to jump back in anytime they need to. But if we're not interested in doing it at all, I would need to let Metro Bow Hunting know that we are not looking to pursue to continue, or at least not renew this year.
okay. So you're looking for a 5-year commitment? Is the contract?
I
a 5-year
would be
contract?
open to whatever you guys want to do. 5 years is definitely easier than reviewing a contract every year, but that is up to everybody else.
Okay. Would anybody like to speak on that?
So I think that we've talked about this as a council before. We're sort of divided. I still am for it, and I would support 5 years. Deer don't have any predators, and so their population grows. And I respect where Steve is coming from. I love my deer in my yard. They follow me around when I garden. They want to know what I'm planting. But I think that it's the right thing to do, so I'm for it.
So I did read those articles, and I didn't really feel like there was anything in those articles that really persuaded me to, I guess, change my 49-51 opinion of not having a deer hunt. To be honest, I was pretty disappointed with the DNR because I feel like he offered some things up but didn't really have any viable way for the city to do that, such as like a deer survey, but there's no real training on how to do a deer survey to see how many deer Birchwood actually have. And the fact that none of the surrounding communities are doing the deer hunt kind of pushes me over the line of not wanting to continue with it. Because if nobody else is doing it, what's the point of Birchwood? Like, what are we actually doing?
I read the articles as well. And I've also read other articles that says that the deer have a 3-mile, I believe, home range. And when I look at where Birchwood sits, surrounded by Matamidi, Weaver Township, Delwood, I mean, you can go across the lake and you're still within 3 miles. If our neighboring communities are not on board with the deer hunt, I don't see how us doing it is going to control that population. Yes, you might take 10 or 8 does out of Birchwood, but that doesn't mean they're Birchwood does. That just means they belong to the area. And deer travel between all these communities. So until our neighbors get on board, I'm not going to be for the deer hunt because I don't believe it's going to provide sufficient results.
I really wish that DNR had more information for us. I don't know how prepared that guy was when he came in, but I just felt that us trying to make a decision, it didn't give us enough.
Hankins?
And I don't think there's anything in front of us tonight.
What?
Just nothing to vote on.
Kathy wants to know if we want to renew or
Sure.
contact the bow hunters.
Have them come in.
She also said she doesn't want to waste their time.
Don't have them come in then, doesn't matter too much. I mean, I'm indifferent. If somebody wants to actually go through the data and make a case, I'll listen to it, but just throwing in a bullet on an agenda is not, I don't think really moves it forward. So you guys can, if there's a case and somebody wants to go through the articles and say, this is what would work for Birchwood and so on and so forth, I think that's, and this is kind of what the science supports, I think that would be a place that we could kind of go. If it's just, but that's kind of where I'm at. I think somebody needs to do some analysis here of what, and I'm kind of with Ryan on that of, let's see some analysis here before we just throw it in with, throw it in. So if nobody wants to do any analysis, it seems like it would be better not to move it forward.
All right, I'm going to take that as a no then. So, so I'm going to let the Medford bow hunters know that we're not pursuing it this year, and it can come up next year then.
Do you want a motion on that?
I don't need one. I just need to let them know because they had asked if we were wanting to pursue it, and from the information we have available, that's where we are, so.
And I'll note it in the record that council discussed it and just declined moving forward with another contract.
Okay.
We don't need a motion to not do something.
Well, and I do want to say that those were excellent articles that you sent.
Yes, and he covered 21 years' worth of
Yeah.
activity. We do have a third of a mile is not a huge location. I
Right.
do know they were planning on working with Matamidi again this upcoming year if we did it, so it's very much a, if you do it, we'll do it, but as far as there's no need for us to go forward based on what might happen. So that's, it is a very small area, but we'll see.
It would be delightful if we had multiple colors of spray paint to actually tag some of these, because I do wonder how many are coming to Bridget's to eat whatever she's planting.
I'm
And then they
not
go to
planting
my house
anything they like anymore.
in Delwood, and I've got a resident herd pretty much all year long too.
Yeah, mine's
So are they making their way over here and just going back and forth? I mean, those are the points that we don't know,
Yeah.
right? And
It is hard to
obviously
tag deer, especially as a citizen, I would imagine that's even harder, but.
Well, the harvest is tough too, because that's just catch as catch can, right? If there's no deer here, when they're here, there's no harvest.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same with hunting in general, that they have to be where you are, so.
I guess I really just assumed that the DNR had a better handle of how many deer were in any given area at a time. And I don't know why I thought that.
I think Steve's right. I mean, they measure big picture, which is why they number the deer harvest every year at a cap, right? But that's how they do it. They get estimates of what the population are and base tags on that. But that's a big macro, not micro.
Yeah, yeah.
So trying to figure out what's here, no one would do it.
Especially for such a small community, like if we were the size of Minneapolis per se, then sure, that's a much bigger area. But they have a lot fewer deer, I guess, in Minneapolis directly, so.
And we did it in Maplewood for years, and our average harvest was about 20, 25 deer. But we had Battle Lake Regional Park that they could go to, which was just a huge sanctuary of space. So it made sense. It's right along the river valley, so they always got good harvest. So
Yeah,
a
and the
lot
only
harder
place I
here.
see a lot coming in and out of is Catherine Abbott, which is a little bit ways away, but I know my first year living here on our Ring cameras, when we put those up, I had 22 in my backyard, so I know there was at least that many. But beyond that, it's hard to track for such a small area, for sure. But I will let them know they had asked if we were interested.
Thank you for all the work you've done on it. I appreciate all the time you put in, Kathy.
I will provide all of the paperwork and materials for that to the administrative in the event that they decide to do it at some other team.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's move on to number 4, which is discussion of Lake Link's Birchwood project, plans and expenditures.
Right. You have seen this, Lake Links have come before us and said this was their plan. They wanted to spend $51,000, and you can look at that sheet and you can see exactly what it is. They have done a tremendous amount of work assessing where to buy things, talking with Matamidi, talking with the Lake Links people. And so I think that their projections of cost are good. And then if, in fact, there is additional money, then there would be an extra item that they would look at in terms of exercise equipment. But they want to make sure that they prioritize things appropriately and well. And so what I am asking on behalf of this committee, which is no longer a committee, now they're sort of a working group, is your approval to go forward and start to order these things as makes sense, rather than having to come to council every single time that they want to order something. This is what they want to order, this is what their budget is. That, you know, it may be not exactly that, but it is in the range, so I'm just asking, can they go forward and we will submit expenses?
So-
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make it clear, so we are paying up front, correct? And then we'll
Yes.
get reimbursed for this?
Yes, and we do not get reimbursed until the project is completed. So, but we've got, you know, we've got the money in there, so it's okay if we run a negative variance for a while.
And it was a 2-year
It's a
time?
2-year, yes. We thought it was a 1-year, but it is, all of these things need to be done by end of year '27.
So am I being asked to vote to authorize individuals to make purchases on behalf of the city? I guess I'm trying to understand what we're actually authorizing here.
I don't want to have the committee have to come every time they want to order something to get council approval. So I guess it would be
What-
authorizing this list.
Why is it the committee why wouldn't we just authorize the city administrator to have a budget for this and to basically make those purchases upon request of the committee?
I'm great with that.
That sounds like a reasonable way of doing that. Is that okay with you, Alan? That sounds like a lot more reasonable than just
Oh
having.
my gosh, that would be so good.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Discuss this, I mean, Bridget and I decided, I guess collectively, to bring this, so you guys just knew what we were doing and what the group was recommending. So free is free, but still, it's nice to know what the project is.
I just-
up to, so.
I just draw a distinction between a bunch of people making purchases and kind of going through the one central point in the city, which is you, Alan, and that's, as long, if it's going through you and you're just saying, this is our budget, the city administrator is authorized to spend up to X.
That'd be great.
For expenses relating to lake links that have been generally authorized by the city for future approval.
Spend the grants.
Seems, yeah, spend the grant, that, I don't need to micromanage it beyond
Yeah,
that point,
I
but I
love
do.
this idea.
Okay.
But can the city then do the ordering? Can they do the tracking, et cetera? Because my understanding earlier was that there wasn't capacity in city admin to
Not without
manage
that
this.
vote. Not without y'all saying that here's your budget, go ahead,
Oh.
you know, listen to the group and order what's needed.
There's
I don't mind giving you the
Is there
FYI that
capacity
it's
now?
been done.
Okay, great. Perfect.
No, okay, so can we get a motion?
I have another question, but are you done?
Yeah,
How else would this work? I guess when Bridget brings this up, like, that's what I would assume was gonna happen. That's without Hankins clarifying it. I guess I just assumed that everything would have to flow through Alan no matter what.
See,
But
what
will in
we
a
had,
sense anyway, because we've now ginned up a requisition form, because we want to be able to paper these expenditures, so we know what to plug into the budget to show what we're paying back and borrowing from. So that's something that we're going to do behind the scenes. But I wouldn't feel comfortable if Bridget just came to me without what we're doing tonight and said, here, order these things. So that's
Yeah.
kind of why we're all
right.
here.
But,
mean, I
but
think-
before, when I said that I would be project manager, I thought I was the one that would be ordering, that would be lining up the resources, et cetera. But now what I'm understanding is I can go to you, Alan, and say, this is what we want to order, this is where from, and you guys can help us do that, and then help us with scheduling, and help us,
Order it.
see,
and then implement
for
it.
it.
I don't,
Implement it.
I don't even have a problem if individuals want to pay stuff. I just want those people to get an authorization from Alan before they necessarily make a purchase and not just go off and buy something, which has happened sometimes in Birchwood. There was a bunch of paint randomly bought once for the hockey rink. Am I not supposed to talk about that? Like, you know, just, you know, and I just, they're just, you know.
No, I think this is
you know,
good. This is
okay.
great.
So I don't have a problem if somebody wants to buy something and be reimbursed. That's not the issue. The issue is just that, ask Alan and don't just decide that you think some wind chimes would be great at X spot on the lake links and go buy them and expect the city to pay you back, right?
No, and it's only these things.
It's only
that
those
are on
things, so
this
fine.
list.
Yeah,
And so, we will simply work with Alan, and then it will go forward.
And we'll just let you know, I mean, as a group, what we're doing, as opposed to having to come and have you micromanage everything that we're ordering, so thank you for that. I'll just tee up the vote to authorize, I guess, us to work together and just handle these
Yeah,
things
no, that's great.
administratively.
To spend do you want it authorized to spend the 51.1 or 70,000?
51-1 at this point in time.
you can always come back for a bonus.
Well, I mean,
Or
the
just
grant
make
was
a
for
combo and
70.
say, authorize these specifically,
Authorize,
and the balance of the grant.
yeah.
That's fine, but I think we should come back to you and say, okay, yes, there is extra money, and this is what we want to spend it on. I think
Sure.
that makes sense. Yep,
All right,
thank you.
would someone like to have a motion, or make a motion to approve Alan and Bridget to work together?
Aren't you gonna bring us something next month to vote on, or are we just gonna do it now?
Just do it now.
What I've got now is the motion to approve the expenditures as indicated.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Number 5, discussion of proposed city data retention policy, and that is pertaining to the website, correct? Bridget?
Correct. Yes. So Chris has been working on the website and has made some changes and is going to be making more. And I thought it made sense, because we do have a lot of stuff on that website. I would argue that we don't need as much stuff as we have, that some of it is very old, some of it is outdated, pictures are an ADA problem. That we just all agree on what can be deleted. So that's really the point of this, and what we are saying is that official records, well, first of all, the website is not the holder of official records. So that's the baseline. Official records would be held, and I wasn't sure, Alan, because I know that you looked at this, it looked like you made a comment. So it would be held current year and then 3 years old, and then they could be taken off the website?
Yeah,
And purged,
or
okay,
purged
so
from the
it's like 4 years,
Yeah.
really.
Current plus.
Yep, current plus. So that's what the recommendation is, that's pretty standard. The only question that I had on that one is, do residents really want to go back longer than 3 years? Do they do that very often to see the minutes and the agendas, which is the most searched for thing on the website?
I use that stuff all the time, going basically back to the origin of time. Now,
That's what I was wondering.
what I think would be okay would be to just, and I think you can get away with this under the ADA, would be to take all that stuff and just move everything older than 3 years to an archive section.
Yes, that's what Matamita does.
That's what I would do.
Right.
If that's okay.
That's
And
fine.
just leave it online, the space is cheap, but, I mean, beyond that, I like your policy, and I actually really like, that it kind of says, this is what we're not doing. Because it's really easy to, so that, and to me, that's kind of the value of your policy, is to say, kind
This
of
is what we won't
give a
do.
list of, this is all the crap we're not gonna do, because it's easy to say, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and now we have a monster website that isn't as helpful as it could be, so I like that aspect of it. And take everything, dump it into an archive, and start over from scratch with a baseline of 3 years ago seems like something people are nodding at.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that we will simply get rid of and not archive,
Because we can.
because we can.
Would it be possible to look at, while you're updating that, the mobile aspects of that? So as far as like if you're looking at the website on a mobile phone, we don't have any place where if there is an emergency or a notice that is active that actually shows, you see the calendar, but you can't click in. If we could look at the mobile ability to.
The
So
mobile,
probably a bigger conversation, and one that we might want to have at at one of those breakout meetings. But the software that we have isn't great. It's hard. Chris will tell you it's really hard to work. If we want a website, thank you, Chris. If we want a website that looks like Matamita's, they use Civic Plus. And they paid, I couldn't get an exact figure from them, but they paid $10,000 to $15,000.
Yeah, it was an expensive
Right,
one.
and then you're paying $5,000 to $10,000 a year because you don't own the software. You are paying for it.
Yeah.
Whether that's, if we did that, we could have all of those things. We
Oh,
are just really,
Mine is more so like if you're looking at the actual website, like we have a public meetings and notices, but it doesn't click anywhere. And then important links, they show, but if you're wanting to actually look up, let's say, city code.
I thought we fixed all this, Ryan, didn't you fix all
That
this?
does,
Tried.
yeah, that does work. But as far as like if there was an emergency of some sort, it would be nice to be able to see it on that front page. That's all I really care about, because it does show on the website, but you can't click on the public meetings and notices.
I mean, there used to be a list
There
of stuff
was, yeah.
there, and
And it
maybe we
disappeared.
gotta
I don't
just
know what
mention
happened.
to Chris or show him how to fix it.
But yeah, as far as like if we have a notice that is current or whatever we post on Thursday or something like that, if it just listed there too, because we tell people, give us your email address and we'll email it and go to Facebook, it would be nice if it's
I
also
can-
on the website.
I can meet with Chris sometime, or Ryan and I can meet with them, or Bridget and I, or Bridget, anybody, maybe we'll meet with Chris and,
But otherwise, love it.
the other thing that I would add, it's not in this policy, but we do need dedicated resources on this website. There's just so much that's outdated. And to Barton's point, I mean, we aren't keeping up with agenda meeting, none of that.
Yeah.
So maybe when the new person comes in, we can carve out some of that time for her to do that?
That's the idea, by the way.
Good.
So that's part of her educational background, and so it'll be very good.
Chris, do you have any comments you want to make?
So, couple things I'm working on with the website. Because of the clunkiness of the website, there's a plugin that's supposed to fix a lot of the issues that we're having, like the missing links and some of the buttons not working. I'm hoping I can talk with, I don't know if you got my email or not, Alan, about that subscription plugin that.
We talked about it. I don't think I saw an email, but.
Okay, I'll talk to you later about it, but there's a plugin that's supposed to streamline almost everything that almost we need to do. And I used a little bit of it as a trial run, and it's working out pretty good. So I'm hoping once I can get the full version of it, that things on the website, especially like the quick link buttons on the homepage and the mobile access should be a lot more better than what it is right now. So that's kind of the big thing I've been working on.
Excellent. Okay.
And you're gonna get us essentially some rough estimate of what that work will cost, I think is what's next, right?
Yes.
Right, because it's a big job to do this overhaul.
Yeah, it's
And that was never our intent for you. We were just getting you to, originally to just post agendas for us, and it sounded like it expanded a little bit.
it did expand.
Yeah.
It did expand,
And
and
that's fine.
and I noticed like a lot of things on it where I was talking to Mayor and even Bridget and Therese, where it's like this is almost impossible to even navigate just on a getting things posted standpoint. Whereas I offered my assistance where if we could make it easier, what are the steps? And that's how we got to where we are now, to what do we want to keep on the website, you know, what would make it a lot more streamlined for the community. So I've been kind of easing my way through it, and hopefully it's working out, and hopefully we can get to the end of it to where we can just put agendas and just the maintenance mode. But right now, cleanup mode is in full progress.
And we don't have a system yet, council. I mean, so part of my job, as I perceive it, is to have sort of a pipeline from here to down there to up there,
Yeah.
as it were.
That'll be good.
And I think to Kathy's point, I mean, in the world we live in, the mobile optimization is probably key. Because let's face it, if you're not on one of these things at a desk,
No.
you're on your phone.
Right.
Right.
So that's a critical piece. So if that plugin helps us with that, that'll go a long way.
Yeah. So, still looking for, with the archiving, as Ryan was saying, still looking to figure out what we can use for an archive, because nothing as an archiving tool has worked. I'm trying to figure out what other cities are using outside of Civics Plus.
Look at Stillwater. Stillwater has a nice one. They use
I might be able to do the archiving for you.
Granicus.
Okay.
Thank you.
I mean,
What's that word?
If any advice you guys have, please.
there should be, maybe we can take some of this offline.
Okay.
And maybe I can just go figure it out.
I just don't think WordPress is maybe the best option
I mean,
for us for what we're looking to do, so.
If we have, if you guys want to do a different site, we can definitely look into it, and it probably mean a good overhaul and maybe a complete refresh of the website, trying to bring back and put new things in.
Well, what I wonder if you could do would be to just start over from scratch with a brand-new site and take the old site and maybe leave it around for a year or so. It's not that expensive.
Okay?
Call the old site the archive, and then at some point, take it, download everything from the old site, and just stick it in some format on the new site and shut down the old site. Like, it just seems like we're maybe making things by trying to, and if somebody wants to move away from WordPress, fine, just make the new website some other system that fits some of our needs. I'm not an expert on web design.
Yeah.
I use big words, and sometimes people think I know things. But like, if Ryan or Kathy or somebody, if you have a brother-in-law, or son-in-law or something, if you guys have a recommendation for software that we could just start over from scratch with.
That would honestly be a lot
'Cause I-
easier.
You know, yeah, I think that might be a better option for us than.
Yeah, let's
Trying to,
talk about,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Really, we've got a new person coming online, and so we'll see what she's comfortable with
Yep,
in
let's,
terms of design, and so I'm guaranteeing it's better than WordPress. I mean,
Maybe we-
what we want to do.
Maybe we can use CTOS Web.
So I would say, at this point in time, keep cleaning up what we have.
Okay.
Because it's what we have. I would not swerve I would not put all of this on hold.
Yeah.
and
Oh, we
say,
wouldn't do that.
No, we got to clean up this thing.
We'll
It's-
build the new stadium before we close down the old one.
Yeah, but I don't want Chris going off and spending now his time and energy finding a new site before we get this thing cleaned up. Okay,
It's
thank you.
still vastly improved over what it was, when did we have the old site? 2 years ago.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
So as far as like, this is much better. There's just room for
And I
improvement.
wouldn't ask a brand-new employee, staff person to start building the
No.
city's
Right.
presence as like
No.
day one, project one. That just doesn't seem good,
Well, that also would take their entire time frame of how much time they're working, so.
right? And we have a lot of other
On a more
projects.
Yeah.
fun, could we send out, when we send out the next city bulletin, just send out a request for a photo to replace the soccer photo we have up there? And we'll put a new photo up. We'll have a photo contest or something.
I can add it to the newsletter.
Add it to
Photo
the
contest
newsletter,
would be a
just-
great idea, so you get everyone's best of the best of Birchwood, so.
Tobin used to do that. It was nice. We could put their photo up as the main website photo. I don't know, maybe that's demanding too much right now, but.
just again, to Barton's point, can we just make sure that everything is up to
Right.
date?
The
This is
basics.
important, the calendar and the meeting minutes and agenda. That really needs to be up to date, okay. All right, then,
Got that
Sounded
noted
like
as
a
well.
mayor.
thank you, yeah, thank you for your help, and I think Alan's gonna
I've got it written down.
coordinate all of this.
And that's nice to hear, because
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first time
Absolutely,
we've heard that.
thank you, Chris, we
so.
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Very happy of
Are we done?
what's the word?
Thanks for your
Updates.
work.
Yeah,
From the community of the website.
we appreciate it,
Yeah.
thanks. All right.
We're still talking
Oh,
about the
do we need
retention
to-
policy, by the way.
Pardon?
We're still talking about the retention policy, by the way.
I think,
That's what I was just going to say. Do we need to,
We need a vote
okay.
approving the retention policy as suggested.
can I just make one more comment on the retention policy? Thank you for doing all of that, putting that together. And I think it's really important, because as we build our, like, a standard procedures and our document books,
Yep,
this is perfect.
good.
So thank you for doing
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
All right, can I have a motion, please, to approve the proposed city data retention policy for our website?
So moved.
Kathy, second?
Second.
Isley, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay. This is all out of order.
We're on to the resident members of Community Engagement and
Oh.
Events Committee.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so we
It should be
had.
on your agenda as numbered. The ones I printed for you.
8,
Okay.
it's number 8.
So.
It's 7, thanks.
We had 5 people express an interest in being on this new committee. And I'll just read, since it's not in the oh, this isn't the right one.
You need a copy?
This one. It's very short and sweet. We have 5 residents who have expressed interest in being on the Engagement and Events Committee. This is to council. Please approve Nan Drews, Jane Murnett, Ashley Belisle, Shelley Ross, and Jamie Isley for seats on the committee. So I'd like a motion to approve those 5 residents. I have emailed them, and I will be the liaison, but they'll set up their own committee, similar to the Parks Committee.
I think that's
So,
great.
Yeah. So can I have a motion to approve these 5?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. And Alan, the last one, right? The last thing?
Yep, you're on the floor coverings, your kitchen project.
Right on. Okay, again, in front of you. Because we're going to have a community engagement committee, we anticipate using this space more. As you can see, Jim and Ron installed our new LED lighting, which is beautiful.
Looks great.
Yeah, it's awesome. The paint job's been done, as you know. I have a family who would like to donate a range, a new range for our kitchen. This one was actually manufactured maybe in the late 20 teens, late 20 teens. So our plan is to remove the old range and put the new one in. In addition, I would like to install LVP flooring. So I was pricing it out, and I think I can do it for $300 or less. In that note, also, I would like to get hardware for the cabinets, and I think if we do hardware, the flooring and the new range, it'll look quite pleasing. We're having a lot more people request this rental space, so I would like to make it as inviting as possible.
Maybe we should think about redoing, see how that goes, and think about the carpet in this area too.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna install LVP in here.
No, but maybe something different.
I'm gonna do the
Maybe we
kitchen.
could get it.
Well, start with this. Let's not,
Can we just like
let's
do?
make the project any bigger than we need to.
Yeah,
Let's
just-
start with
Can we just stick
the,
with the kitchen for now?
yeah, I agree.
LVP, you selected high traffic, because this is going to be used a whole lot more than a normal family.
Correct.
I was thinking about saying that. I
Yeah,
agree.
I mean,
White marble?
Teresa, Teresa.
Sorry.
Where's the tree? What is it?
I will get a mid-grade, but I still, at Menards, you can find.
No, I'm,
Yes.
the size of the space, the cost sounds about right, but as far as like,
Yeah.
I would actually, if you're choosing between something that is $300 and poor quality, I would prefer to recommend a higher
Yeah.
cost and a better quality item because of the number of people that potentially could be using this space.
Yeah, I will definitely take that into consideration. I only want to do the job once, Kathy.
Exactly.
once.
That is the goal.
Okay, and then eventually, as you see in the note, it won't be in this project, but the next stage, I would like to replace the sink and the faucet. And then the kitchen will look refreshed and updated. But that is not included in this initial phase of the project. So I'm looking, if you could just maybe make a motion to approve me up to $500, which will be more than sufficient to cover what I'm doing, but I just don't want to have to come back in a month and ask for $50.
The $500 that you note here is that includes the flooring and hardware and their time?
That's it, it would be Jim and Ron's time to move the ranges, yes.
Okay. Oh, they're just moving the ranges.
So
They're
maybe-
moving it from the person
How
that's
about-
donating it to here and moving the old range to a recycling place.
I move to approve up to $700 for kitchen flooring, range replacement, and related costs.
He's bumping it up, so you
Ah.
have
Would you give her 700?
700? Well, I mean, you got
moved
their
up by
labor.
$701.
All right, you want to reduce it down to 500? I said up to. I mean,
I am very frugal, so
Second.
And that's only if you go to Menards and get the 11%.
they're not giving 11% on flooring.
I'm kidding.
Well, no, I know, because I checked into it. As I said, very frugal. All right, so Ryan's made a motion for 700.
I seconded it.
And, yeah, Ryan's second.
Okay,
Ryan's and
I'll-
Ryan's, yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, now we're on to the consent agenda. Would anybody like to pull anything out of the consent agenda? The only thing we do need to do is add these late claims that Teresa just gave us, also in front of you on the table?
Well, let's pull out the treasurer's report
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
and add those in.
And I've got it listed as added on for the agenda for purposes of the minutes.
I don't have to pull it out.
Alan, did we end up
just
getting a
mention it as
quote for the audit that we had talked about last?
I haven't yet from
Not
Abdel.
yet, okay.
Bless you.
Okay,
Seat.
And just a quick FYI, Bridget and I met with Marcia 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago? Just to try to kind of refresh how we're getting the treasurer's report. Marcia had a couple recommendations. She showed us one that the city of Stillwater uses that we quite liked, and we're kind of trying that one out. It's more of a fund-based way of looking at it, so instead of
Say
every,
fun or fund?
well, now I'm gonna say fun.
So I also heard fun.
Fund.
Okay.
So, and it's still kind of a work in progress, so that's why it looks so much different today than it has in the past.
But hopefully, we'll never be in a situation where we can't tell where we are financially at the end of the year.
It'd be nice.
So, and it will evolve.
Excellent.
okay. So, Mr. Hankins asked to pull out the treasurer's report, so we could add this in. Anything else you would like to pull out? Okay.
I've added it so we can move the whole consent as a corpse.
And can I have a motion, please, to approve the consent agenda with the addition of these claims?
So moved?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Alan, would you like to read the announcements?
Yeah, well, next meeting is scheduled for March 10th, same time, same place. Tennis sanitation report, we have the annual report for collection totals, which is at the end of your packet, as well as the final quarter from last year, so kind of a combo there. Your Washington County Sheriff's update is in there, and last but not least, it's National Toast Day, so for all of those who celebrate.
And to be clear, it was like toaster toast, and and not champagne toast, and I
not
spent some
toast.
time figuring that out.
Me too, I had to go.
Wonder Bread
Toaster
in the
toast.
appliance, toast.
Right.
Can I
Yes.
add an announcement?
Oh.
The Parks Committee is still accepting nominations for their Remove a Tree within the city property. It has to be on city property, to use the $2,500 that they have allotted for a tree removal. You have until Valentine's Day to submit your nominations to the parks@cityofbirchwoodvillage.com email address.
The only other thing I would add is the approved changes, amendments, modifications to the plot agreement that we've basically passed through this group. I did present to Rice Creek, and so they're on it, I guess you could say. I haven't heard back, but I'm just working through their attorney, so then they have to go back through that, so I can see where it would take more than 3 weeks.
Okay.
But we've made our intentions clear.
Also, one other thing. My next-door neighbor, their son was in the Olympics. Corey and Corey, the mixed doubles?
Or curling.
For curling, yeah, and they won a silver today. So congratulations to the Dropkins.
And one of the Corys made a very nice statement on behalf of the United States, or at least all curlers.
Oh.
So-
Should we have a banner out in front of the city hall?
Or in front of their house,
Or
even.
something.
Are they
Parade.
from here, or the parents moved here?
The kids moved to Duluth right after high school to be curlers.
This is amazing. We have all these Olympic parents coming, because we also had Herb,
Yeah.
who moved here, and
What a great documentary
I
that was.
believe we
on
also have
Netflix.
an Olympian who lives in,
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget about Cassie Potter.
I know. Hey, shout out to Cassie too. She was on the, correct me if I'm wrong, Cassie was on the first women's team to curl in the Olympics, right?
I just knew she was in the Olympics. I didn't know it was the
Oh.
first women's team. It was her and her
That's
sister.
so
Her and her
cool.
sister.
Yeah.
That's so
And she
cool.
lives, it's the Birchwood Court thing. She
Oh my
lives on
gosh, you
Birchwood
guys.
Court. The Dropkins live on Birchwood Court. We're like the curling,
Maybe it should be a
Mecca.
little cul-de-sac party then?
You might need one of those.
We need a
historic
sheet.
signs.
Oh, no, we just need a sheet built in our court so they can practice.
That would be
That's so
amazing.
cool.
Anyway, congratulations
Congrats.
to the Dropkins. A lot of time, like
I have that saved
Decades
to
of
watch
time.
it when I get
It's
home.
a stressful
very
time to be
excited.
an American athlete there, so, I mean, they're all
Yeah.
holding their cool really well, so. Figure skating, we watched conversely with the Super Bowl, so it was fun to watch our folks in mixed doubles there, too.
Yeah. So anyway, congratulations. All right,
Do we have to talk about this, though, because we removed it from the agenda?
Well, we did,
put
we
it in.
added it.
Oh, we added, oh,
Now in the
that's all we
treasurer's
did?
report as extra claims.
okay.
You'll see it in the minutes. I just put it in there, so it'll
Okay.
get in there.
We don't need to approve it then as well, because we did the.
We did it as part of consent.
Oh, did we? I thought we had removed it.
I thought I pulled it out. I think if there's a question, maybe we should just, I move to approve the treasurer's report plus all the additional claims in case the previous motion was not sufficient.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
thank you, Ryan. All right,
Jumping ship.
can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
I move to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.